hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses remain without power in Florida and the Carolinas as those states reel from the impact of Hurricane Ian. More than 80 storm-related deaths have been confirmed since it first crossed the US coast on Wednesday as a Category 4 hurricane. Well, let's go to CBS correspondent Christian Benavides, who's in Fort Myers Beach in Florida, one of the worst affected areas by Hurricane Ian. Just tell us about the situation, first of all, where you are.
Good morning. Well, let me just sort of break down that number of about 80 confirmed fatalities. We really don't have a true scope of how major this could actually be. Remember, the access to these barrier islands remains limited. So we are just now seeing a number of, throughout the morning, we've been seeing dozens and dozens of rescue vehicles, that search and rescue teams that have started to go into the barrier island of Fort Myers Beach. We're just across from the bridge. And as you can see, I mean, this is a boat that was washed ashore by the storm surge. But this is a road that's just littered with debris and actual structures. I mean, you see actual homes and businesses that have just been washed away from their foundation, blocks and blocks from where they were originally at, really pushed by the storm surge. Really, this, as officials have mentioned, has been a huge water event. The wind damage just doesn't compare to the amount of water damage that they really had here. And another thing that they're currently assessing, just sort of looking at, is, if you'll recall, the path of this storm initially wasn't that it was going to hit Fort Myers. It was that it was going to hit the panhandle of Florida or even the Tampa area. That's about 100 miles away. But there was that last minute switch in the forecast. And there's really some concern is that people have enough time to get out after the storm made that last minute switch.
And Christian, we've been looking at pictures from the air as well as what we can see behind you while you've been talking. I mean, it really is absolutely catastrophic. And as you say, that the scale of this isn't even clear yet. Just tell us about the help that's been on hand and what is still needed there.
Well, really just talking to people on the ground, the biggest need really starts with housing. A lot of people have lost their place to live, so they're relying on shelters or hotels or family members or moving away to other family members. So you can only imagine how that is, because the process of getting your insurance money for your home is going to be a long and complicated one, certainly because the flood is what essentially has caused all of this, and the percentage of homes with flood insurance is below 20%. So you have to think about, taking all of that into account and looking at the damage and looking at the desperation among people. I mean, the lines at gas stations just go on and on and on. There were people that were really waiting before the pumps were open. One woman told us that she had waited for 2 hours before even being able to get gas for a generator for her home and for her car. So there's a lot of desperation in the Southwest Florida area. And these communities really are going to have to get rebuilt from the ground up. So it's unclear when people that live in those communities are finally going to be able to go back.
Christian, thank you very much. They're giving us a real sense of what is going on in that part of Florida, Fort Myers Beach. Christian Benavides.